But I'm going to hang up on that. Well, you know, how would it affect my religion when our religion tells us real clear in here that that's it. Every single person, every human being, every soul is going to take death. So I'll tell you what you do. Prove that one is wrong. Just live forever. For some Christians, I'm not saying all, but some Christians take their Bible literal. They don't realize it's in English, it's been changed. And they say, John 3:16, for God so loved the world, He sent His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him shall not die, but shall have everlasting life. You can nail Him on His statement right now. Does this mean that every creature that died didn't believe in it? Oops. And I guess, excuse me, don't mean to be rude, but I guess He didn't believe it either, according to you. Because didn't your God die too? No, it was the Son. Okay, your Son or whatever. Didn't He die? Well, did He get to know? Did somebody die on the cross? Well, yeah. Well, then whoever died on the cross didn't believe in that. Because whoever believes in Him shall not die, but have everlasting life. Yes or no? Did it say that? Now I'm going to tell you that's not correct. That's not a good translation. And I know what it meant. It meant that if you don't have the right belief, you'll be in hell. But if you have the right belief, you'll go to paradise. That's what they're trying to get across. Somebody just got excited when they did the translation. But I want to give you another one too. Did you notice it said begotten? But some of the translations don't put begotten, but, excuse me, because in the old ancient manuscripts it doesn't say begotten. It just says Son. Oops. It doesn't say begotten. And he said, no, it's begotten. Okay, great. But guess what? According to the Bible and according to the Quran, Jesus wasn't begotten. He wasn't begotten. If you believe that, then you don't believe that there's a miraculous birth. Take your choice. Is there a miraculous birth? Yes. Is He a begotten Son? Yes. How? Because the immaculate conception means not begotten. Figure it out. But, hey, good news. You can find one other reference in the Bible to a begotten Son of God. Yes, sir. And it's not Jesus. And by the way, this verse doesn't say Jesus anywhere in it, nor does the verses after or before it. It just says you have to believe in the begotten Son. So let's go back to Psalms, the Zabur of Dawood, the Psalms of David, and look and see what it says in chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 7. It says that God so well pleased with David, the Psalms of David, he said, that hear a decree that I decree, that thou art my son, this day I have begotten thee. You are my son, and today I beget you. That's really strange too, isn't it? So if you don't believe in David as the begotten son, you can't go, wait a minute, and now we're getting all messed up. Another little point, I'm sorry, I still have some leftover baggage from Christianity. Another point is the word son in the New Testament. If you look it up in the concordance, and the Strong's Concordance, you'll find reference to the dictionary in the Koine Greek. And this word translates son in English, but the meaning it said is very general. It can mean the relationship of an uncle to his nephew. It can be the relationship of a man to some cousins or relations or people under him, or even a man to his servants, or even a shepherd to his sheep. So if you came to me and said, well, this means the relationship of one who is the servant of Almighty God, I'm going to say then I have to believe that because that's what my book tells me. Abdullah, the servant to the Almighty God. How many of you in here would accept that Jesus was the Abdullah of Allah? Okay, I guess we believe more in the sonship than some of the other folks. So moving right along. So, let me give you an answer for this one. Were there any creatures on earth before humans? Yes or no? Were there any other creatures of Allah who had free will that could go out and murder, lie, steal, hurt people, do stuff before humans came? Yes? Yes! Who said yes? You do believe that? Is there any proof? Yes, in the Quran, many times it talks about a jinn. The jinn were before us, How many of you agree that the jinn were before the humans? Okay, so they existed before us, right? And they committed sin before us, right? So it's impossible that Adam did the original sin, right? Okay, enough of that one. It says, each religion assumes that it's the only path that leads to God. But how do we know it's true? It's only a matter of faith and belief. Nobody knows. Oh, well, you didn't want to answer. You just answered it yourself. Okay, can something? Question number 2. Can something evolve from something else?
Remember the question. I was pointed to ways when you were speaking. I was listening to a word by the name of it. Which is after 10 afterwards. Yeah, all this
Yeah, I just want to sit through all these moving. Okay, let's do it this way. If I bring a proof, and you don't accept it, then the only logical thing is not to disprove it. You have to show me that's not proof. If you bring a proof, and I choose not to accept it, I can only not accept it based on what? It's invalid. Not because of my point. Like, let's say I make a point. I've done this many times in this round. You can make a point, but then you're wrong, and you have to admit you're wrong. We do that all the time. As Muslims, we make mistakes. Happens all the time. And I said, oh, well, I think, the human being, blah, 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 blah. And you said, no, it doesn't say that. The Quran says so-and-so. What am I going to do right away? Am I going to argue with the Quran, or am I going to go, I made a mistake. I'll take the Quran. And I have to change my opinion. Why? Because the Quran has proof, and I don't. It's a theory. Can't do it. Not from the Quran. So what I'm saying is that if you stop and think about it, when people bring you a proof, and you say, no, it doesn't agree with what I want to believe, that means you have a belief. That's your religion. And you're taking it without proof. But if somebody brings you a proof, and I brought several, I told you very clearly, the easy way to do it, this book says people will all die. All you have to do to disprove it is just live forever. Don't die. The oldest human on earth today is how old? Anybody want to take a guess? Huh? 120, 135? Well, you're 150, 175. 175 going on? 200? Nah, nobody's 200 years old. So that means nobody on earth today could have ever known anything about these religions that we're talking about. In fact, I'll go you a step further. I'm going to tell you, find me somebody on the earth today that ever met Darwin. Go ahead. He died too. Every soul's going to die, it says right here. But the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible tells you, anybody who believes Jesus is the begotten Son of God or whatever, you're going to live forever. None of the people believe it, I guess, because they all die. I'm giving you a challenge. There's a challenge. Another one, bring a book out. Another one, 10 chapters. Another one, a single chapter. And at the time it was revealed, there was a person mentioned in here called Abu Lahab. A very clear statement against him going to hell as a disbeliever. That he will never accept this plan. Okay? This is the whole idea. This man never will. He had plenty of time. He knew this sort of against him. He hated it so much. His wife even went to the Prophet with rocks. She wanted to throw them at him. Because of this. And she even told his companion, Abu Bakr doesn't love him. She told him, she said, your companion is making, your friend is making poetry against my husband and me. He said he doesn't make poetry. How many of you heard this study before? You know? Yeah. Why didn't they just prove the Quran is wrong and just say, okay, we'll take Islam, make their shahada, and that would prove Islam is wrong? And then they just say, okay, well, we came into Islam, and the book here said we wouldn't be Muslims, so here we are. Looks like it was wrong, but they couldn't. And what about the predictions in the Quran? When it tells you that the Romans have been defeated, circle room, chapter 30, they've been defeated by whom? The Persians. We call them Iranians today. Had defeated the Romans. But then it tells you, in a few years, they're going to be victorious back. Oh yeah. And it happens just like that. How?